What's that boy number 4 name? Hill.
Yeah.
Hey, I like him. He might be my new favorite player, bro. Real talk.
I'm sure a lot of Alabama fans were stressed out in the fourth quarter watching Alabama take down South Carolina in a classic hard-nosed back-to-back type of SEC matchup early in the game. Of course, the Crimson Tide pulled it out 29-22, but I remember at one point earlier in the game, they did what I think a lot of teams just do at every level, high school, college, and the NFL. When teams are playing bad, you let them hang around. I remember at one point in the game, South Carolina had missed a field goal, had a pick six, and they had an opportunity to take the lead when it was like 7-3. They scored to get an opportunity to take the lead. So if a team is playing bad, you got to take advantage of that if you are the opposing team. But of course, Alabama pulled out the win 29-22, very late in the game. They were able to come back and score 2 touchdowns and even pulling out a 2-point conversion. But after that game, you talked about some key players who stood out to you in that matchup. And the first thing I want to talk about in this episode is basically those players and some other players maybe who you think will be big players for the Crimson Tide to close out this season, as they have a lot that's still left on the table for them to possibly achieve.
I honestly think it's going to take. I don't think it's only going to be one person.
No.
I don't think it could be the same guys. It's going to be a team effort. And I think a lot of these boys got to get to a point. Sometimes we stand in our own way. Is when you're a national champion, it's not going to ask you, how many snaps did you get? You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be, how many balls did you catch? How many touchdowns did you have? It's going to read national champion. And that goes from the top to the bottom. So it's gonna be a multitude of everybody, because the first time, if I'm in practice, man, again, that's why you see me not getting too celebratory, not too high up, because you got to keep your foot on the boy neck. You cannot give your players. I'm just telling you, this generation, they cannot take a compliment. A compliment for them is a day off. That is a day off. When these boys talking about they need mental days and all that, you got to act like you can't hear. You're going to really have to go sign language to these boys. But to be just truthful of the matter, that defense on scout team, that defensive scout team offense, like all that sugar, honey, iced tea goes hand in hand. You cannot cut a corner. So we can't say, hey, man, I need Tim Keenan to continue to be dominant. I'm going to ask them in practice, are you pushing him to be dominant? How are you coaching? Are you doubling down on their coaching? But if I had to name some players, so I'm going to give you what you want. Since I got to name a couple, I'm going to say Ty has to be cool, calm, and collected. What's that boy number 4 name?
Daniel Hill, running back.
Hill.
Yeah.
Hey, I like him.
Yeah.
He might be my new favorite player, bro. Real talk. That big son gun smooth as a Cadillac. Ryan Williams.
Yeah.
Bernard, of course. Ty, of course. And on defense, I need Jefferson and Tim Keenan just to be them. When they're on that field, they command that defense from the top to the bottom. If those two are playing good, everybody else around them is going to play well. When Tim is involved, everybody's involved. And you saw it.
Yeah.
You saw it. And Lawson, he showed up. And it's because, hey, man, I got my guys back. So those would be my few guys that I feel like. And especially Ryan.
Yeah.
Not because he dropped some balls. You know, that's part of the game.
Yeah.
People don't see the tough catches that he makes.
Yeah.
He gave you such a show last year that those are the things that you have come to expect from him. It's not a slump.
Yeah.
It's football.
Yeah.
I remember dropping some wide open passes. It happens. Lack of concentration is confidence. And you fans are not making it any better.
Yeah, for sure. And I think just to stay on Ryan a little bit, I think it's like kind of like what you said. I think I talked about it on previous episodes. I think this is going to be part of his game. He's going to drop some. He's going to make some, like I said, some tough catches. He led the team. You would have noticed about the way some people talked about it after the game. He led the team in receptions. He had a pretty decent ball game. Wasn't great by like you talked about, like this, like the way that he played at times last season, but he had a pretty solid football game. If he caught some of the pass they dropped, he would have had like a crazy stat line.
I got something for you now. I got some insider trading right here. I was finna be fun and talk politics, but I get in trouble. You know how that goes. But I work for myself anyway, so can't fire my dang self. But you have too many guys. Ryan, this came from a reliable source that was just like, he's one of those kids. He's not worried about what he does right. He's worried about what he does wrong. But you have a lot of coaches on their team that won't hold him accountable or don't. I'm not calling him my son, but my little boy is the same way. Like, you have to constantly challenge him. Be like, you can't do this.
Yeah.
They are a point-proven kids. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it has to come from somebody that they really respect. But if I'm DeBoer or if I'm Shep, it's their coach.
Yeah.
I'm in his ass. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm on his head. Like, bro, what's up? Like, ain't no excuse for that because he can take it. If you knew his high school coach, if you know his parents, I don't know his parents, but from what I've heard about him, he's used to that type of coaching. You know what I'm saying? So don't be all on him. Good job. No, it's not. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There are too many yes men around him and not a people hold him accountable. And I think that's the type of coaching that he needs. He's a self-motivator. He don't need no motivation, bro. He is still him.
Yeah.
But you got to challenge him and you got to know how to challenge him. And you got to keep a guy like that. You got to feed him breadcrumbs, man. You got to keep him. The difference between a shooter and not a shooter gonna keep shooting. If he 0-15, he's still gonna catch that thing and shoot. When I mention Ray Allen, what thing comes to mind? Sniper.
Yeah.
But just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I would put Ryan in that conversation. A lot of those guys that you said, as well. I think I would put Ayenze Pierre into that conversation. Number 42, the edge rusher who continues to get better. I think he's making strides and taking the right steps in the right direction. I think Josh Cuevas doesn't get talked about enough. The number 80 tight end. He makes just some great plays at great times. His stat line
8-0 on, man. But he got that 8-0 on, man. That's a blessed number.
Yeah, he makes plays, man. He's really, really reliable for sure. So Alabama need all those guys to continue to step up, like you said, Mike. They need a lot of these guys to step up because you never know whose game is going to be over the next several weeks as that Crimson Tide look to possibly play for an SEC championship and compete for a national championship as well.